Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe podcast, aka the Pup List. We're a Green Bay Packers fan podcast that brings you topical and relevant Packers news, along with our most humble, subjective opinions. This is episode 292. Recording this on a Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. The Packers beat the Houston Texans at home at Lambeau in Week 7. But now we're on our way to Florida, not for a vacation, but to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 8. Just a reminder, this is a video episode, so if you're listening to this on the podcast version, try heading over to the YouTube channel. Just search Packer Universe Podcast, and you can check us out on the vid. I'm your host, Tay, and not joining me tonight is my always co-host Ren. He is not able to record tonight. He was able to join us for the first takeaway. That was this past Sunday. That's our first reaction to either the win or loss by the Packers after their game. While he is away in North Dakota, the connection for that episode wasn't very great. I went ahead with it anyway, published it, but didn't like that. And he ended up just being too busy tonight, which is totally okay. This just in, I do have a picture of Ren currently right now while I'm recording this. Let's just bring it up here. He just texted this to me. Oh, there he is. Okay, looks like he's in a field of reeds, maybe with some camo. Is that Packer camo, Ren? Nobody knows. Well, if you want to chime in and play this, where is Ren? What is Ren doing? Yeah, give us a shout out. You can email us at info@packeruniverse.com or head over to our socials. And tell me what you think Ren's doing here, because he looks pretty badass. All right. Let's get back to the Houston game real quick. Just want to touch on a few things before we move on. It was the winter warning game. That's where they wore their alternate white jerseys, and I loved them. I think most people did. You might not like some of the stripes that were along the side, or maybe you wanted to do your own tweaks here and there, but generally speaking, I loved them. I think they were great. I love seeing all white. The white helmets, I think, were a unique and different thing to have. I hope they wear them again next year, year after that, and hopefully they're in a rotation. I mean, I guess I'd rather see winter warning when it was snowing out or something at Lambeau. That would be pretty special, especially if you bring in a warm weather team like the Texans, or if Jacksonville were to come up to Lambeau for the winter warning. You'd love to see that in snow. But this game, they did look really good. It was kind of a thriller. There was 7 lead changes, a walk-off field goal to win it. I mean, amazing. Great defensive game. MLF, Matt LaFleur, even gave the game ball to Jeff Hafley. He, I guess, had his choice of a couple players to pick from, but he gave it to the defensive coordinator, and that makes sense to me. They played a great second half to basically fend off the Texans and only allow them to score 3 points in the second half, which, led to the game-winning drive by the Packers. They were able to kick the walk-off field goal, so you gotta love that. Evan Williams, again, he's just a stud. I love to see him all over the field making plays. He just looks natural at the position, and he's up on the line of scrimmage a lot, blitzing, just sniffing out those dump off passes and screens. Just love it. There's some stat out there, Pro Football Focus perhaps, as the best rated rookie this year, but I could see him easily being the defensive rookie of the year. I mean, if he keeps doing what he's doing, there's no reason he shouldn't. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of the takeaways, interceptions, or fumble recoveries, or he's got that one strip, but he's just playing really solid, and people are noticing. So check out and watch for 33. He's all over the field. That's great. I loved him in tandem with Bullard, 20, and then obviously McKinney, who is going to, I think, be the defensive MVP this year. I called it in the preseason before we started. I thought he was going to be the MVP of this Packers team, and he just might be. If he continues to make these unbelievable plays every week, he is like the oil that just makes this Halfley machine run. It is fantastic. Josh Jacobs, congratulations. You got your first receiving touchdown in your career as a running back. And he was even holding that record, like the longest without a reception for a running back. I don't know what the number was, and I don't really care, but it was a long time. But he exercised the full experience by doing the Lambeau leap. So congratulations, Josh. That was super cool. Daniel Whelan, I think, could have gotten the game ball as well. Again, this guy is just having fantastic games every week. He had 5 punts for a total of 284 yards, averaging 56.8 yards a kick. But ultimately, his biggest contribution was getting that kind of like weird snap at the end, and he got the ball down for McManus to kick the game-winning walk-off field goal. So again, Whelan is just like amazing, and he's a weapon right now. He is literally helping us win games, and you gotta love that. And there's just no way that he isn't like the special teams player of the year in the NFL. It's amazing what this guy can do, and I love that he's so young, and we probably can have him for a long, long time. Jordan Love, he was basically a bit of a gunslinger this week. 3 TDs, 2 interceptions, but it was good enough. It didn't really set them back too much. He did drive them down the field in the last 2 minutes to set up for that last game-winning field goal. But I guess I talked about this with my coworker. Like, where are you comfortable at with Jordan in his ratio of interceptions to touchdowns? Like, I think there's a threshold there, and you have to decide that for yourself. But clearly, this was like okay, and the Packers won mainly because of defense. But to get or give away 2 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, you still win the game. You still look good, and you were able to not let that hamper on the decisive win. So when you look at that, could 3 interceptions, could that have just negated everything? But comfortably, I think I'm okay with this gunslinger kind of period we are at with Jordan Love. He is kind of like throwing it in tight windows. He's making some, I guess you'd call Brett balls, and most of them are working out, but some of them aren't. And you just kind of have to ask yourself, are you okay with this? Are you comfortable with this? And I think I am right now, as long as the defense can kind of like be a safety net, and some of the other team members around him can be his safety net and get him out of trouble. I'm okay with this. This is fun. This is kind of what we liked from Brett, but then again, he is, a little bit, that pocket passer with some mobility to extend the play and kind of fire it in like Aaron. So we're at this weird spot. Like, is this what Jordan's going to be for the rest of his career? Someone that can dazzle you most of the time, but then give it away at some other points. So I would think, for me at least, it's like 1 interception's fine. Like, I can handle 1 interception a game. I'm not really counting these tip balls for interceptions. That to me kind of is like a negative stat or just a ghost stat. Like, that doesn't count too much. But if you're getting 2+ interceptions and it's your fault, I just don't see that being good, especially if you're not going to be putting up touchdowns. If you're like 2 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, perfect. 3 touchdowns, great. But if you're not making up on that deficit, then you have an issue. So I'm just asking you, Packer Universe, what do you guys think? What's your threshold for this potential gunslinger Love as quarterback? Ending up with a couple, maybe 1 or 2 interceptions a game. Let's see. Let's move on. The Packers are still third in the division, the NFC North, at 5-2. I mean, with that win against the Texans, they're 5-2, and just let that sink in. That we are third in the division at 5-2. It's just it's nuts. So right now, there's no room for error. I think in the NFC North, they're all playing well. Someone's going to fall off. My guess it's going to be either the Bears and the Vikings, because obviously the Lions look like they're legit still again this year, and the Packers, we can see what this team could be, and I think that's a threat. I just think the Bears or the Vikings maybe have gotten a little lucky this year. They have better teams. Well, I'd say the Bears do. The Vikings, I don't know what's going on with them. You kind of thought you wrote them off. They were just never gonna be a contender in the NFC North. But when you get into 7 games, they're right there. So this is nuts that this division is so tough, but I love it. But someone's gonna falter, and I bet it's gonna be the Bears. So at practice today is Wednesday, and you had a nice day. It's really, really nice in Wisconsin right now. The last week was great. This week is also great. It's getting a little cooler, but still, there's no rain, there's no clouds. So they're outside practicing, and who's in the corner is there's a Robert Saleh sighting, and all the beat writers are videotaping him, and they see him there, and they talk about it. And then, of course, in the press conference, it's like, what is he doing there? What's going on with Robert Saleh? Why is he here at practice? Matt LaFleur says that he's just helping out with the offensive side of the ball, giving him some like pointers, just kind of like a consultant, just for a few days. Like, he says he's gonna probably be there till Thursday, and then he's leaving. So it's like a temporary job, like a whatever. And I don't know. This is fine with me. I think people want to read into this. They want to get answers, know what's going on, what's going to happen next, what's the future of this relationship. But honestly, guys, this is just Robert showing up because he's got no job right now. He got fired from the Jets, and he's just showing up, hanging out with his friend, staying at his friend's house. I mean, he's between jobs, so why not? Like, this is harmless. Matt LaFleur said this has nothing to do with Jeff Hafley. And he didn't even talk about the defense with Saleh. Saleh actually was supposed to be there just to kind of look at the offense, to help the offense from a defensive standpoint. And I think everyone embraced it. Everyone knows why he's there. He's Matt's best friend, and he's just hanging out, looking at the team. And why not? Like, Robert Saleh has no allegiance to anybody right now except himself and his family and friends. And who's his best friend? Matt LaFleur. So he's there. But this is very interesting. I think it confirms that Matt and Robert are super close off the field. And they're sharing their professional life and their professional jobs and experiences together as well. So I don't know. This could be a sign of things to come, but I think it's just temporary. Nothing's going to happen with this. I mean, maybe you see Saleh come on the defensive coaching staff next year at some capacity, or assistant head coach or whatever, but I don't know. I think this is just fun for them, and let them have fun. I think Andrew Brandt tweeted out today that he had heard, because he was at the game on Sunday, and he had heard that Robert was coming or going to be here and going to kind of be a part of I don't know, just like a temporary thing for the Packers. So I thought that was interesting. Like this wasn't just like he showed up today and everyone was like, whoa, and then they asked questions. Other people knew that it kind of spread through the network of Robert showing up at least this week sometime to help out. So I think it's kind of cool, and I look forward to more of it. I see LaFleur drawing a line in the sand between that relationship and Jeff Halfley. So I think we're safe there. We're not jeopardizing anything. I don't think Robert's getting into Jeff's business. I don't think Matt would let that happen. But I think it's cool. It's like let's share the knowledge. I mean, I guess why not get all the help you can acquire from your best friends? So I love it. I can't wait to see more of that. All right, injury report. Let's check on that. Devontae Wyatt returns to practice today after missing 3 weeks with an ankle injury. He started out this year pretty good, but let's hope that he finally returns to the field healthy and he continues with that progress. The only of note is the did not participates were Valentine, Jenkins, Walker, and Myers. Obviously, Eric Wilson came in for Quay Walker during the game. And I think everyone kind of thought Eric did a great job. And I was kind of hard on Quay at the beginning of the season. I didn't think he was going to, be a standout middle linebacker this year. And I thought he was going to regress. And I think we've kind of seen that. I mean, it stinks when you take your play caller away. He's the one that practices during the week as the play caller or the communicator. He gets the plays. He shares it with the team pre-snap. So that's a big part no matter who it is. But I think the fact that Wilson came in there and he dominated and did really, really well, that I think that spells a sign of things to come with that position, and I'm okay with that. I hope Eric can actually win the job this year over Quay. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's get on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Green Bay Packers are going down to Jacksonville. It's an away game. It's week 8. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-5. They are 3rd in the AFC South. Their stats are mostly middle tier. Some of them are pretty bad. But I feel like this team gets a lot of bad rap. Most of that, I guess, is justified, but I don't think they're as terrible as a lot of people think. Their defense, they have a bad passing defense, but a decent run stopping ability. They have 2 good defensive ends, Josh Hines-Allen with 2.5 sacks, and Travon Walker with 6 sacks on the season. So keep your eye on number 44. So those 2 ends are really good, and they're doing well this year. Only 1 pass interception by that defense, and their passing yards against per game is the 31st in the league. So Love should have a good day against their secondary. So cross your fingers. On the offense, Lawrence also, I think, gets a bit of heat as a QB of being not great, being just serviceable. I think his expectations were through the roof, for forever. He's not mobile. He's a pocket passer. But I think when you look at it objectively, he's not terrible. I mean, right now he's got 9 TDs to 3 interceptions. In comparison, Jordan Love has 15 TDs to 8 interceptions. So, if you just look at percentage and the ratio, Trevor Lawrence isn't doing too bad. So I don't think I wouldn't want him as my quarterback, but I think he's better than some of the guys out there. Running back situation, they have Travis Etienne. He's kind of injured with a hammy right now, but they have themselves in Tank Bigsby, and he's a brute. And he, I think, can be argued is better than Etienne anyway. So you're going to see a lot of him. Wide receiver rookie Brian Thomas Jr. He's been their go-to guy all season. The other receivers have been mediocre at best. But Brian Thomas Jr., he's got 30 receptions, 513 receiving yards so far, and 4 TDs. And so for comparison, Jaden Reed has 29 receptions, 452 yards, and only 3 TDs. Dobbs has 23 receptions, 312 for yardage, and only 2 TDs. So in comparison, Thomas is blowing all of our receivers away. Obviously, it's kind of a one-trick show there where we have a plethora of wide receivers. However, he's doing great. So that's a must cover, a must take away. And, I think if we can get pressure to Trevor Lawrence, that's amazing. That's where we start. Running game, we've never been great at a run defense, even this year. So I think kind of like what I explained in the past couple weeks is I think there's a trade-off for our defense. Hafley's system, I think, is coming into its own. I think we can look at that and say, yes, they are attacking. They are fast. They're going to the ball. Finally got some pass rush last week, but still run defense and some of the other mistakes and stuff are still there. But I'm happy with it. I'm willing to trade off some things to get others, and to have takeaways and have attacking the football and blowing plays up and shutting wide receivers down. I'm okay with that versus like a poor run defense, for instance. And for a long time this year already, we didn't have a pass rush. We weren't getting to the quarterback, but now we started to do that. So, we're adding another layer to that. So hopefully this is the new norm where we are able to get to the quarterback and disrupt some things. In general, I think that this Packer defense is on the right trajectory with or without Robert Saleh or his advice, which I don't think they're taking right now, but I'm curious if we'll ever know what exactly Robert is saying about our offense that will help it out and translate into something positive. But who's to say he's not just there hanging out and he's helping the team? Like, what if he's just there to hang? He's like, I'm gonna go up to Green Bay for, a few days. The weather's nice. Go see Lambeau, hang out with my buddy Matt, and pretend I'm working with them. So, whatever it is, it's fine and it's great. Let's see. So, the Packers take on the Jacksonville Jaguars at noon on Sunday. To predict this game, let's see. The line is -4 for the Packers. So Packers are getting 4 in their own hometown. 4 an away game for the Packers. That's pretty nuts. So you kind of tell where Vegas is at. But I think they're right. I think the Packers are on a roll. They're getting better every week. I think Jordan's finally coming into his own here. Maybe he's, doing some errant throws here and there, but I don't care. It's developing, moving in the right direction. Can you look at this, or should you look at this as a trap game for the Packers? I would say not. I think that this team is together. I don't think the trap games. Well, to me, it doesn't look like, it doesn't feel like a trap game. I've felt those plenty of times. And it's usually like divisional games or something like crazy, like out west or something against the Rams or whatever. But this one, it's an AFC team that isn't that great, and you don't have a ton of weapons. You're coming off a huge win against an AFC South team that is pretty good. So I think this team is on a roll. They're rolling towards the right direction with all of their gameplay. We do have some injuries, but I don't think that's an issue. I think we have enough depth on this team to be totally fine right now. I'm not worried about that. Even the Quay Walker position, let Wilson go in there and see if he can prove that he's the guy. But I think this Packers team definitely trounces on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to say they're putting up 32. I think the Jaguars put up 17. Their kicker, by the way, is way better than ours. Or no, sorry, let me start that over. The kicker they have is good, and he was better until we picked up McManus. Now I think we have a kicker that we have confidence in, that we don't have to worry about, that can kick extra points, that can kick between 40 and 50 yards. But the Jacksonville Jaguars do have a good kicker too. And so they have all the confidence in the world against him. So, it could be a kicking game for them if they're not able to get in the red zone and convert touchdowns. They could be, kicking field goals the whole time. It's Cam Little, number 39. He's a rookie this year, and he's been great. So I think the Packers go down there and take care of business. I think this is going to be a fun game again. I think they're going to win. They're going to win handily, and I don't think we're going to come out of this game with too many injuries. I think we're going to feel good again and look forward to the future. So let me know what you think. You can send us an email, info@packeruniverse.com. You can head over to our socials. We're all over the place. Go to our YouTube channel. You can leave a comment on this episode or any other one if you want. I'll be seeing those. We wish Ren good luck out in North Dakota, whatever he's doing. Feel free to let me know what you think he's up to. And hopefully we'll see him back on the first takeaway on Sunday when we report the win for the Packers against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I want to thank everyone for watching, everyone for listening, everyone for supporting us. I appreciate it very much. Until episode 293 on the Pup List.